Welcome back to the Face It Global Summit, and I'm joined by Indigo. He's the IGL of OGN Enters Force, and they just came second to Liquid in round 2 of day 3 here in London. First of all, Indigo, not the best start for your team yesterday. What did you learn from yesterday's matches?
어제 그렇게 좋은 성적을 내지 못했는데 어제 매치에서 레슨이 있었다면 어떤 게 있었을까요?
좀 더 이제 현장 분위기에 적응을 해가고 있고 좀 그때는 굳어 있는 느낌이 강해서 저희가 본 실력을 발휘 못한 것 같은데 지금은 점점 적응해가고 있고 앞으로 좋은 모습 계속 보여드릴 수 있을 것 같아요.
So we were not adapted to the stadium and the match yesterday, but today now we are fully into this match. So I guess we can prove you how we're good at it.
What did you find was the most difficult thing about the international mix of teams here?
이렇게 국제 경기에서 가장 어려운 점이 어떤 거라고 생각하세요?
일단 다른 해외 팀들의 플레이 성향을 완벽히 알 수 없기 때문에 좀 변수들도 많았고 네, 그런 게 가장 어려웠던 것 같아요.
So we cannot calculate all other different international teams' playing style. So that was the most difficult one.
And talk to me about that final fight against Liquid on that last round. You did have a two-man advantage. It was 4v2. So what went wrong?
지난번 매치에서 리퀴드랑 싸울 때 4대2로 이쪽이 더 유리한 상황이었는데 어떤 게 잘못돼서 혹시 졌을까요?
방금
네.
각자 브리핑 실수가 있었고 브리핑 실수가 좀 컸던 것 같아요. 브리핑, 커뮤니케이션.
We had a mistake around our communications and some mistake about the briefs. Yeah, and that was the biggest one.
Well, I imagine that's something you've had a bit of a talk about in the break. So going into our third round of Miramar today, I'm expecting big things from you guys. Now, I'd also like to ask about Erangel, because we expected to see you dropping at Pachinki. That was where you were dropping in PKL. That's the Korea PUBG League. But you changed things up yesterday. You went to a few different places. Where will you be dropping today?
미라마를 넘어서 에란겔을 진행할 때 항상 PKL 한국 리그에서는 포친키로 가고 있는 걸 알고 있는데 오늘도 포친키로 갈 건가요?
최대한 현명한 선택을 할 건데 저희는 비밀로 하겠습니다.
We're not remaining in secret, but we're going to do our best clever choice.
Best clever choice. I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. Thank you so much for talking to me, Indigo. And we're going to head back to the desk. But before we do, I want to say thank you to Vertigo. Actually, we're going to see it modeled here. Here we go. So the Vertigo chairs, they are creators of the world's first wirelessly controlled RGB gaming chair. Yes, beautifully modeled there. I might get you in every interview. Let's head back to the desk.
There's Vertigear and there's Invertigear.
That was brilliant. Beautifully modeled with a thumbs up. Thank you very much.
Two types of chair from Vertigear. There's the Vertigear Classic and then there's the Invertigear. Upside down. I love it.
So good. Oh, brilliant stuff. But indeed, thank you very much to them. I actually sat in the chairs over at the commentary desk and they're actually really comfy. Yeah, so I'm not really complaining, to be honest with you. Joining me at the desk, we have Toffees as well as Avenger. Jesus, he's a goof. We're going to be going into...
You act like you didn't start off with puns yourselves.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to be going into Miramar for our last game here. And we've got a little bit of time to talk about it. So it's time. Hashtag Toffees takeaways from our last 2 Miramar games going into this one.
I think my big takeaway here is that the point totals are really still coming in on the top of the finish bracket. Everybody's sort of looking at those top 5 or taking all the points and sucking them up, which to a certain extent is good for the teams on the bottom because it means less points going to the teams that will be stuck in the elimination rounds. That said, don't be one of the teams that's happy with that. Go out there, fight hard, look for 4 or 5 kills early because good news, tomorrow the powerhouses are gone and you can exploit anybody below you. So that's what you need to do is pick up some points, make it so you're not the one being hunted and instead get to be the hunter.
Avenger, any kind of thoughts off that?
I definitely think that Toffees has a really great point here because I think that going into tomorrow we're going to see obviously a less stacked lobby, but I still want to see kind of have these kind of tendencies you need to have tomorrow so you can kind of start working on that. I still want to see these teams stay together as a 4 because there's still so many teams when we go into the late game, once they get kind of out from their rotations in phase 3, they're kind of splitting up too much and they're getting way too punished from that. Because you can see here with Force and Liquid, there are 4 guys, 4 versus 4 in the end, and that's so important. It comes down to the 1v1 in the end, right? So having 4 guys alive towards the end, even 3, will obviously be a great benefit.
And I think that we sort of saw a tale of 2 regions in a moment, right? In the last interview with Jeems, they're just happy to tell you where they're going. Their drops are all public. That seems to become like sort of a Western style. In the interview with Entis Force there, they said, we got to keep our drops secret, keep it quiet. Now's the time to execute those secret drops, right? Especially if you're a team like Incognito right now. They're struggling to put up the points, and if they keep dropping in the same place, they keep going out with no kills, well, that's insanity. Find something else. Go somewhere new. And even if that means hot dropping a team that you think is weak and maybe contest dropping, not say I hate hot dropping, so contesting and picking an early fight to pick up those 4 points to take with you to tomorrow, do it.
Well, Entis especially, I mean, let's talk about where their position is right now, since we've just been able to talk to them themselves. 36 points at the moment, and the gap there between them and the 8th place is about like 30-some points, or 30 points-ish. So even across kind of 4 games, they would still need to get themselves in a much kind of better position to try and breach into the kind of grand finals day straight away, as opposed to just elimination themselves.
Yeah, I mean, on their points per game from last time, they were 2.5 short of where they'll need to be for the cutoff. When you come in and you look at the numbers, it says it's simple to say, you got to pick up 2.5 points, but that's 2.5 extra points per game over what you were already doing. So that's a big order, and the only way to do that is to be bold. So get out there, get aggressive, and take risks, because you know what? Either way, you're going out.
Yeah, I would rather see teams like thinking about it and being kind of cognitive of what you want to do. Do I want to set up in a kind of on a crossroad position to get those kills, or do I want to try to make it into, you know, say 7th, 8th place where you only get 1 point for the place? I really want to see them kind of set up some traps, put themselves into some positions where they are getting these kills that are so crucial.
Final thoughts before we're going in?
It's better to get 2 kills than 7th place. I mean, think about that, play it out, look for it early. If you're desperate for kills, that's your best option. Points on the board is the name of the game for anyone who's not on the left side of the column.
That's right. The good old mantra of points mean prizes. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's time to go over to our final game of Miramar here for day number 3 of the group stage for the Face It Global Summit, as we head over to our commentary team once again for all of the action.
All right, here we go, Paper Thin. One last Miramar game left in the group section. We got a lot of teams that have managed to kind of make their way up into that top 8, but there's a few of them that are going to be fighting for those last couple of spots to get the auto invite into the finals.
Right, and are we going to see anything crazy? Are we going to see somebody try something unorthodox here, give us some action early on, maybe try to set up, like the desk was telling us, some picks or something like that? I can't wait to see what's going on, because this is getting down to crunch time, and these teams really got to get going if they don't want to face the relegation stage.
I mean, we've seen Arrow Wolf. They've been going after a lot of kills at the start, picking up 1 or 2 here in these different, like, sneaky rotations that they're making around the map. You got the plane path. You can see everybody's already started on their drops. Pretty friendly, so nothing too scary. So we've got maybe Los Leones. No, I don't think anybody's really going Puerto Paradiso, so no real fear coming into anybody on this one.
Yeah, last game, the OP Gaming Rangers made a long rotation over to Puerto Paradiso, but this one's even harder to make for them than it was last time. So I'm really curious to see what they do, because they have been struggling really hard, and, you know, they got pushed out of Impala, so they're a little outside of their comfort zone, and it's showing today. Now, my question is, and I want to ask you this, where do you want this circle? Because we've had a lot of northern circles here.
We haven't really had an NPL circle yet, and that's kind of like, that's where I come from, is over in the NPL, over in North America, and we tend to get that circle, it feels like every day, at least once. But really, I'd like to see something kind of make its way over towards the southeast. I really enjoy anything that's got that, the south of Los Leones. I just love that territory.
Yeah, those are PKL circles. We had a lot of those in the PKL this year, so I would be totally fine with that. I feel like that would be nice for my Korean boys. I can't wait to see what happens, though. Interesting stuff going on here on the drops. Now, of course, this is Team Liquid and Picado, but I do want to mention OP Gaming Rangers are in Valle del Mar, and they have pushed Arrow Wolf 7 out, because Arrow Wolf 7 dropped very early, and they're up by Cruze Valle with Entis Force.
I got my wish.
We did it!
The players didn't necessarily get their wish. They were probably hoping for something a little bit more centered, but I don't care. Give me the fun circles. Naturally, this is going to pay off for OMG. We just did the pass by Picado just a second ago, where we saw their nice little logo up on the side of it. What is it? The Luchador Arena, I believe.
Luchador. Is that
not a boxing ring? It drives me so mad. Everybody's always just like, boxing ring. There's masks everywhere. There's signs on the outside of it that are like, hey, these two wrestlers are going to be fighting. It's not a boxing ring.
I agree. All right, so this is NIP BB. They have El Pozo all to themselves since Windstrike is way up on the north end by Campo Militar and Torre Ahumada. We have VSG over in La Cobreria. So it's going to be some difficult rotations for a lot of these northern teams.
See, look,
this
production's got my back. Not a boxing ring.
El Diablo.
That's a strong wrestler name, by the way.
I don't know how it gets much more intimidating than that.
Okay, well, let's take a second. OMG. These guys, high expectations, but we keep talking about it. Top 8 teams are going to go on automatically into the finals. Then we're going to do an elimination day with the remaining 16 teams. That's going to happen tomorrow. But you keep your points from what you presently have, and OMG are not getting very many points, and so that means it's going to make it very hard for them to get in the top 8 teams from the elimination bracket.
Yeah, they've got to start picking it up right now. It's getting down to do or die time. And, I mean, if any team can do it, it's OMG. They've got the pedigree. They've been here, they've been on the big stages before. So if you're going to see a team do it, I could absolutely see them being one of them.
And we got HQ that is always an X factor anytime they show up. Going to be interesting to keep an eye on them. But Incognito, really, these guys drop Los Leones, so they've got themselves a pretty nice circle. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of the teams just try to take locations just to the south around Los Leones. Nobody likes to drop Los Leones because it's really hard. Well, nobody wants to go move into Los Leones because it's really hard to move away from. There's just so many flatlands that are just off to the west. There's a lot of these little points where as you try to rotate out, you can just end up in a lot of trouble. You can see that here's kind of what you're looking at when you're inside of it, all fine and good. But if you have to move out of this, it is so dangerous.
Yeah, there's just so much, like you said, flatland and other things, and a lot of compounds that you can set up picks on the roads in and out of Los Leones. So I'll be curious to see how Incognito plays this. They've finally gotten a circle that's in their favor. We've gotten this southern circle for the first time here, and I've got my eyes on them a lot, and also I've got my eyes on Crystal Luster because they have gotten this circle as well. They've been dropping southwest Los Leones the whole time, and they haven't really done much. They had a nice pick against Aerowolf T7 in the last round, and they got a few kills, and we saw some nice shooting out of Weishi, but they haven't really found themselves in those endgame situations competing for the win.
And I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You got to get the kills. Like, we keep talking about wins. Wins are great, but really, you've got to stack it with a ton of kills, and that is what Team Liquid is doing. They're just coming out today swinging. I think they've got something crazy. I know they have over 20 kills. I think it's something crazy like 26 so far in 2 games. What the hell, man?
They are just on fire. They are just, I mean, you can tell there's some drive and some motivation there. I had a chance to talk with them a little bit, and they looked very calm and collected last night after the matches. It looked like they were ready to go, and it has shown up here today.
With the banter that we've had between Team Liquid and Cloud9 about whenever we make our way over towards Erangel, and everybody's going to be fighting for Pachinki, because remember, we have seen Cloud9 and Team Liquid, neither one of them want to leave this spot. They're like, no, this is our drop home. With the way that Team Liquid is fragging out, I'm kind of curious on how Cloud9 are looking at this, like, maybe we still drop there, but we give them a little bit of space.
I don't know, man. Cloud9, I think they're going to be aggressive. I think they want, I think it's kind of almost a sense of pride at this point that they want to compete with Team Liquid and show that they can control that location as well. I don't think they want to cede that to them, especially because as we progress in these phases this year, Team Liquid said that in the future they want to control Pachinki forever. Cloud9, I think they want to say that, no, you don't get to have that.
So here we go. We've got the migrations coming in. Tempo Storm along over towards the west. One member of Force already making their way down. Shoot to kill, just kind of coming in and just touching right inside the zone. It looks like they stopped. I don't think that was intentional. I think somebody hit a rock as they were making their way through here. We got Indigo, who we just had an interview with just a second ago. Tempo Storm's just driving right by him. No real members of the rest of Force around this, so not probably going to take these shots as Tempo Storm is kind of prone. Anybody that's kind of making this path, if you take a shot at them, they're going to stop, and they're just going to jump out and be like, no, you don't get to do that. But Indigo might be thinking about taking the shots over at your boy Dre, but there is that terrain piece just off the side of it. You can just run down that hill. And is Tempo going to stop for it? Looks like they may, actually. I tried to warn you, Indigo. This is not going to turn out in your favor if you take shots at Tempo Storm.
Well, and Force is really spread apart here. You can see this. Indigo's way down here. They're doing a 1-3 split, and the rest of Force might have to deal with Windstrike. And oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
That's some disaster up in the top right-hand corner.
AW7, I already know. We're going to see a motorcycle. Yep, it's a motorcycle. Somebody's got to work on their driver's license.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, when you come to these scenes of disaster, the motorcycle is what the forensics are looking for first. So they are going to look to try to get those reses. Godly looks like he's on his way to try to assist his teammates.
He was already like a kilometer away, heading down to the zone, and now he's got to turn back around. Now, they're probably going to get these reses back off. The blue is coming in, but it's an early circle. It's not too terrible. The big thing to keep an eye on is the fact that this just murders their rotation. It's going to slow them down so much at this stage. So you can see they're kind of crawling forward, be like, res me first, I'm the guy that you need to get. Datmosh back there. I don't know if they'll be able to get Datmosh.
Well, they're going to go for Avo first. He's the in-game leader. He's one of their strongest players, so this makes sense. They want to get their best up and get him going again. You know, Datmosh here, he's losing quite a bit of health to the blue at this point, so it looks like they're going to get one of their members back. But, Miraku trying to land some shots onto Alo, and he does a little bit of damage, but not too much.
Shoot to kill, 4 members up. They've had kind of a rough early game every single time as we've seen moving through these first 2 rounds, but Shoot to kill now firmly defending their location. It's going to be Gaxi taking a lot of damage, forced away from their positioning. So Purdy Curry now taking a couple shots back over towards NBS, as NBS is just trying to get back behind that hill.
Yeah, Purdy Curdy, nothing really doing there, but some other shots coming in. And Uncivil gets the knock and the kill onto NBS. Some really nice mini 14s there.
These guys have been tearing apart the leaderboard. NIP and Shoot to Kill both. And naturally, we got to put Team Liquid into that category now as well, but NIP bites off a little bit more they can chew there. Now going to go for a little bit of a reposition. I don't think that they want to continue this now. They now know the fact that they don't have the man advantage moving in, so they're just going to circle out away from it. But we got Maluk also taking a couple of shots back over towards Windstrike. The rotation's coming through on a lot of different angles, and look at this. Gaxi getting dinked here and there for it. Windstrike continuing their path over as it's going to be Zampa just trying to light them up. Tiksu is actually down on the outside of this. Nuki, is he going to try to go for a stop? We're outside in the blue right now. This is a very interesting fight. I think that Jorski's down inside the water. Yeah, he had to take his vehicle and crash into the water to try to stay alive. Nuki's at half life, just running on the outside of this. This is not good for Windstrike.
Yeah, you can see your boy Dre trying to get over there onto the coast to get that kill onto Jorski, who fell into the water. Nuki did a bit of a 360 there with the Murado, but was able to safely get into that house. But at what cost here? Your boy Dre and Sharky both looking for Jorski.
Sharky just hunting down those last couple of members that are inside the water right now. Jorski, I think, is about to make landfall. Are they going to spot him out? Keep in mind, it's an early circle, but it's a slow rotation. This is no big deal from Tempo Storm. These guys like to come into a circle real late either way, but I don't think that they see the last member of Windstrike that's over here right next to them. I think that we're seeing a little bit of separation come out as team managed to make it away, and Nuki has managed to heal back up.
Yeah, they do get the knock on Jorski, and that will surely be a confirmed kill there for Tempo Storm. A very nice pick here. A little bit of a disaster here for Windstrike. Nuki's still up, but he's stuck in that house, and he's looking at the members of Tempo Storm. We'll see if he opts to leave that and rejoin Teme, who has moved further up the road. This is Incognito in a fight with Crystal Luster. He does confirm the kill onto Tango here, does Ronan. So a nice little start here for Incognito. Let's see if they can build off of this.
So this is something we have seen a lot, and this is Team Liquid in the middle of the circle, a lot of control, nice positioning coming out. You can see this little sneaky spot that James is at, able to take a couple of shots back and forth with him. We still have the Shoot to Kill taking shots back over towards NIP, and Alo hits a shot onto Vard. This is going to kind of open up a little bit more of a reposition for this, so trying to get into a position, and Alo actually does flush it out, so that's now 2 members up for NIP.
Yeah, NIP and SDK duking it out, so this could be a preview of what we're going to see on the finals here. Both of these teams solidly, pretty much, I think we could say definitely that they've qualified.
Shoot to Kill are amazing at breaching buildings. Whenever it's a 4v4, they don't even care. They can just dismantle teams whenever they're inside of buildings, and it looks like they're actually opting to go for this. They're very aware of where NIP is at. Nice flank position coming out from Uncivil, really just trying to draw as much attention as possible. Adam lines up a shot, and that's Miraku going down. Ninjas in pajamas in a lot of trouble as now everything rests on Gaxi's shoulders. He's looking back up towards the 3-man, but look on that mini-map. They've got 1 member in Uncivil slowly creeping up right back behind it.
And I think you made a great point that they are so good at breaching compounds, and they're very good at defending compounds.
Ooh, Gaxi knows. You can see the way he's kind of looking around here. Uncivil still thinks that he might be inside the building. On the other side of the wall is where Gaxi is at. Uncivil might have seen him with that little bit of a hop. Gaxi seems to know exactly where Uncivil is, so lined up on that angle. He's got himself a wall. Gets the spray off on one side, but it is not enough. He gets down onto Purdy Curdy, but Ninjas in Pajamas goes out in 16.
Well, you know, this was just fantastic work here. Surgical stuff by STK. And we're going to see those two teams going head-to-head possibly a lot more in the future. And I cannot wait.
I think that they're both comfortably in the finals at this point. Not unless we just have everybody inside this lobby suddenly start making a ton of points. But look at here. We got the circle slowly closing in. We've got VB off on one side. Cloud9 taking a couple of shots. And it's going to be Shura going down and instantly flushed out. This is a nice little spot that you can kind of post up and catch a couple of kills in rotation just right off of that bridge. A lot of people like to kind of circle back down around Valdemar and take that road through. So good awareness on rotations coming out from Cloud9. And Nookie's still alive back over there for Windstrike, but he's got quite a ways to go to meet up with his teammate.
Yeah, this has just been kind of the story of the day for AW7. They're just getting caught in rotation after rotation, having vehicle accidents. I mean, driving vehicles is a huge part of this game and something you have to practice. You cannot afford to have those motorcycle accidents that get you knocked. I mean, yes, from time to time they feel almost unavoidable, but it's something you have to get really good at, and we see a lot of the other teams good at. Here you can see another team that's good with the motorcycles. VSG making a run. They take a little bit of damage, but they're able to get through.
So we talked about how hard it was to get out of Los Leones. Well, guess what? With this circle, it looks like we're going to see a lot of people making their way to Los Leones. We might actually end up with an urban ending inside of this. Los Leones is a hellacious place to fight if we end up with the last circle there. There are so many alleys. There's those huge towering buildings. This could be problematic for a lot of teams.
Yeah, and there's one team that I'm really going to keep my eye on in this because I've seen them in a Los Leones finish, get the chicken dinner, and that's the OP Gaming Rangers. They won a Los Leones finish in the PKL with some really excellent maneuvering, great smoke usage to cover the streets, to cover their advances. So I have my eyes on them as they approach into the south. But this is AW1, our Game 1 winners, trying to take some shots onto AHQ. Nothing landing so far for RDK.
If anybody decides to go towards Los Leones right now, it is going to be painful. They've got AW1 up on one spot. Right down below them to the south, we've got Team Liquid. Shoot to Kill is starting to make their way right over here next to AHQ, but everybody's starting to create a kind of a defensive line across the western part of the circle. So we've got a lot of teams that are kind of posting up on those hills, on the outside areas. Just a very few teams opting to go in towards the center.
And look at that Murado just drive away from poor Uncivil. Can't ghost ride that whip. That one's gone.
Yeah, just got to wave by to it at a specific point. Just running back down that hill. Well, I actually could run back over next to where Alo and the rest of his team were at because they were back in that other position. So here we go. Here's our match leaderboard and where we're sitting at right now. We've got Shoot to Kill with 3 kills. Tempo Storm back behind that with 2. OMG sitting on 2 as well. Cloud9 following that back up with 1, as well as Incognito and OMG. But today's leaderboard, look at that. We've got Team Liquid sitting up at the top with 25. That's absolutely huge.
Yeah, and STK right behind them with 15. Another big day for them. And then 2 Korean teams, VSG and Force, having decent little days, 10 points each for them. But yeah, Force is really going to have to pick it up. They talked about it in that interview. They're pretty far behind, and they're capable of doing it. They're a strong team in their own right. C9 here moving up the hill slowly but surely on foot. STK has a god building over here by these silos. They're setting up, waiting to maybe make a pick depending on where the next circle goes. We have only about 30 more seconds before the Phase 4 reveals itself.
I'm really curious on where this is going to end up going. Nobody's really wanting to make that big, huge gamble except for Force. Force is the only team that's actually just gone right into the middle of Los Leones. Everybody else is kind of playing along the edge of it, kind of afraid of what's going to happen. We got VSG taking, throwing a grenade back over there towards it, but you can see AHQ, while they were trying to go after them, Team Liquid's on the other side of this. Hulk's just trying to get some form of connection, seeing if he can get anything off of this, but got Tempo Storm taking shots at OP Rangers on the other side. These two teams just they just bounce into each other every single rotation, but nice shots coming out from your boy Dre. It's going to take down one of them.
Yeah, OP Rangers, they're in trouble here. They're surrounded. Grenades coming in now, trying to get that finish on the tree. It's a tree!
The tree deflected it. That was just straight up, no, not going to happen. So the res now comes up. We've got Mental that's right up in the front of it. VSG finally did get there down, so walking back up next to AHQ. Should be able to get the flush onto this, as it's going to be very hard for anybody to move forward. Nice grenade coming out. It's going to do some damage to CC on the one side of it. New circle has popped, and we are moving away from Los Leones back down towards the southwest. So you can see it's just a grenade battle in 2 different points right now, but keep in mind Tempo Storm actually does have an angle back onto this, so your boy Dre takes it down. Mental on one side of it. Hulk goes down inside of the exchange with the winner. Grenade gets dropped on the other side of this. This is turning out bad for AHQ. 2 members down. Juanita's holding one side of it as we got SR trying to make the push onto the other side. It's just very, very tangled right now.
VSG needs to make this push. They're going to have a difficult time rotating in their southern direction. They have to find a way to come in from the north here. A great grenade from Starlord. Star-Lord finds 2 members of AHQ here. Juanita on the hunt with the SLR, trying to get some shots, but SDK come from behind.
They just walk down that hill, and they just see points galore. They are just murdering everyone as they go at 4 kills right now, and you can see VSG, they are in shambles down this hillside, and Shoot to Kill is just pushing right into the smokes. They know that they have the numbers advantage. They're just taking any shots, just trying to force people off of reses. Hulk did manage to get res inside of that, but you can see the smokes are turning up big for him, but nice grenade coming out from Uncivil. Gonna take down Star-Lord and drop Juanita as well. Dengche's trying to go for a nice push off to the side. Another grenade's gonna land just on the other side of it. Meanwhile, we've got OMG getting caught up into a fight on the other side of this. This is turning into chaos and pandemonium on every part of this map. Hulk's just trying to get out. Dengche's just been left behind. Bullets are raining down from Shoot to Kill on one side of it. Hulk just wants to get into some form of cover. He's taken a lot of damage though.
Oh, he had to get off his motorcycle, and he does get knocked by some really nice shots with the Mini 14 here by Purdy Curdy. But Purdy Curdy does get taken out by Dengche. A little bit of revenge here, but Dengche is extremely weak. SDK has 2 more members up, looking to try to get onto him. He's trying to get off the hill. Will Uncivil try to come up over the hill and get onto this? Dengche has just enough time to get it off, so okay, here come the 2 members of Uncivil. Oh, he does get the rip onto Dengche. VSG out in 12th place.
Shoot to Kill does manage to get that, but there was a little bit of cost with it. They're at 7 kills right now. Gonna have to make not too long of a rotation back down in the circle, but doesn't want to take that same path that they saw Team Liquid taking shots over into this fight earlier. So now we've got a lot of people that are in the process of still moving around. Really not, actually, I take that back. It's just Shoot to Kill that has to make their way inside the circle at this point. Got a little bit of a fight going on between Tempo Storm and Cloud9, just taking pot shots at each other. Nothing too terribly scary right now. And
whoops. I think that was supposed to be a smoke grenade.
I think so too, and everybody just decided to leave it be. But here you go, Cloud9, Tempo Storm, we talked about a second ago, taking shots. That's going to be Zampa down and Neron insta-flushed. K-Mine's got an angle on the other side back over there next to Sharky. It's going to be your boy Dre getting downed as well. Cloud9 really just holding this angle. Okay, Sharky, you got a plentitude of motorcycles to take. Which one do you want to, and where do you want to go?
Yeah, Sharky's just got to get out of Dodge. NPL versus NPL here. C9 coming out on top. Looks like Sharky's the last member left, but he's running right into OP Gaming Rangers, who rip him apart. Bobo gets the kill, and that is Tempo Storm out in 11th place.
What is it with North American teams killing North American teams inside of this event? It just seems to happen so much. All the other regions kind of like give each other space, and it's like North America's like, nah, I'm gonna kill you just so I can banter about it on Twitter.
I think there's quite a bit of rivalry between those teams, you know, and a good banter, but they really want to show that NA is a force to be reckoned with, and so far they have really done that here at the Face It Global Summit.
Well, I will take that as a thank you as a North American caster. But now we've got a Liquid looking back over here. They've been the shining gems today. I mean, these guys have just been so absolutely dominant. Haven't necessarily gotten themselves a kill yet, but they're looking at a potential one, hiding out inside of that shack, because it's going to be Brazilian taking a little bit of damage. Liquid's in a nice, strong position. No real team's capable of contesting. Shoot to Kill might have to take a path back down through the buildings to get over there next to him. That's not going to turn out too well for Shoot to Kill, all things considered, since it's a 2v4 situation. Force is now in the process of leaving Los Leones. You can kind of see what we were talking about, how it gets a little bit tangled as you try to make your way out of this area.
Yeah, I can see by the way that Entus Force is looking, they suspect there might be a team coming up behind them, and they are correct. It's Arrow Wolves, who had our Game 1 winners, trying to work their way around the southern edge of this compound. They don't want any fights right now. They've got the OP Gaming Rangers possibly in their way, depending on which path they take here. Team Liquid doing a great job zoning control on the northwestern side of the circle.
We got Cloud9 that just walks right up next to AW7. They get the down onto one of them. Looks like might have a chance on getting the second one. Profi does go down. AW7 still has that one member up looking the other direction. K-Mine and Lobes are nowhere near this, so this could be an easy flush depending on how fast K-Mine can come down and provide some form of reinforcement. Nerf's just trying to crawl back over there behind those hay bales. So we got Avo looking back, maybe trying to go after Profi. K-Mine holding the defensive line, spots him out, takes the shots, but they do not connect. Look at Avo just getting another down onto Cloud9. Now it's just going to walk through and go for the flushes. Loeb's still way back in the back of this. Now is Avo going to step up and go for the last one? Lots of damage comes out. Loeb's is going to force him to play back behind the tree. Here comes the grenade. Is it going to get caught in the trees like we were saying a second ago? Nope, going to bounce, roll back down behind the hill. So it's going to allow Avo to go for a reposition onto this. This is a very back and forth battle between the two of them. Avo's positioning makes it really hard for grenades depending on how they roll through. As I say that, though, drops right down at his feet, and Aerowolf 7 is eliminated.
Lobes just able to barely keep C9 in, and okay, Uncivil with a nice grenade here onto Jeems. Ibiza trying to find the angle onto Uncivil. A good spray here with the Scar, and he does get the knock, but he gets knocked himself. I believe that's Sato from BB.
BB is back behind this. Adam, meanwhile, is right on the edge of the circle trying to figure out what he's going to do. Uncivil seemed like he was the sacrificial play, just trying to draw some attention. Incognito is also taking shots into this, and as well as Force's Yak, so that's going to be Shoot to Kill going down in 9th place.
Wow. Shoot to Kill, you know, they were spoilers once again here for VSG. VSG was able to weather the storm last game. This time they got knocked out. But Team Liquid doing such a strong job of, like I said, controlling the northwestern portion of that circle. These compounds up here on the western edge of Los Leones offer you so much vision over what you were talking about earlier, those flat areas outside of Los Leones that are so hard to cross.
It's all the teams that are in the process of trying to leave the remnants of Los Leones. You can see they're all starting to tangle with each other. We've got OP Rangers off on one side, Force over there next to it. One member of actually 3 members of AW1 up and alive right now. One of their members now down. I'm willing to say he's probably just going to die. I don't think that they're going to run back over for that one. RDK is as good as dead at this point. But due to the positioning and how this lays out, you can see that there's a little bit of a cliff that drops down to where OP Rangers are at. Force doesn't have the best angle back over to him. That means that everybody is just now funneled in and just beat it in on AW1.
Yeah, and if this circle goes more to the west here, that's a lot of wide open space for these teams to cross. It kind of reminds me of what happened to Force and OP Rangers in Game 1, where they were stuck on the eastern side of the circle. If this goes that way again, it could spell the same kind of disaster that we saw. Ooh, Kale takes a little bit of damage from that grenade from AW1.
Again, the high ground positioning's paying off for them. They're trying to reposition off the side of it, and they are actually going to get RDK. What? How does that happen? He was down, and he managed to crawl into this position. That's a lot of utility and smokes being used by AW1 to get this, but is it that much worth? And actually, how did the other teams let that happen?
I'm a little surprised. I'm not sure if Force just doesn't have the right angle to get a grenade, or they didn't think that it would just be possible for them to get over there because of the position.
Nice.
And Lion!
Doesn't manage to get the second one, but OMG gets eliminated out by BB as he tries to go for a valiant play, but BB's sitting on 5 kills right now. Nice control of the territory. Team Liquid might be the next contender to make an approach on this angle, though.
The sole team from the JPL. Let's see if they can get this done, because they're one of the regions that doesn't have a win yet, and I think that would be a great boost for the Japanese scene, which has a very thriving PUBG scene, actually.
Lobes jumps up to get a little bit of information, and Samty just pops him right in the face. So with this, Liquid's making their approach into the circle. We do have Nerf that's still on the outside of it, taking a couple of shots, going to have to make his way in, but really, everybody except for Nerf is inside the safe zone right now. And here we go. AW1 with that res coming in 4-man strong, just guns a-blazing, charging right up into Force. This is turning out really bad for them. They already have 2 members down, trying to get this other angle, and AW1 is just walking through. Finally, Yak comes alive, gets the down onto 2 of them. That was a great push and a great retaliation from it, but I think RDK, the guy that had to be rezzed a second ago, is the last member up for AW1. Kale's just trying to spot it out, going for some flushes on the side of it.
Oh, and he gets that tight angle onto RDK. He barely could see through there and got that knock.
Katao is over there pushing onto OP Rangers right now. What is going on? They sent 3 members off on one angle. Katao pushed it back on this other side of it. That's what confused me for a second. They did a 3-man push and a 1-person split into another 4-man?
That had to be miscommunication. There must have been something that happened there where they didn't quite plan that attack correctly. I mean, that looked like they were going to absolutely make Force pay for letting them get that res onto RDK, but Katao, I don't know exactly what he's doing over there. That's pretty strange.
Anchor position, I guess? I don't know, but you can see that Jimsy's taking a little bit of damage. Cloud9 still holding this angle back over to him. Last couple of shots do not connect, so he does manage to make it over towards safety. Samty's right up in the face of BB. So now, here we go. We're going to start to see everybody have to reposition off. This circle's about to start condensing down here in just about 3 seconds. Samty is on a mission. Got 3 members around him, but BB's playing very, very passive. Does spot out Samty, playing in a very strong defended position, but again, surrendering a lot of information. Now it is just Jimty as the last member alive, and he's got caught up in a little bit of a range battle with Cloud9.
Yeah, Jimty here, he might be, it's not going to go well for him. C9's on his right-hand flank. He's got BB up there on the left, and he just got the information that BB is in that compound, so he doesn't have much to fall back to for safety. Entus Force trying to make a rotation to the south here, trying to find some safety to get into this circle. They know the Rangers are here. Katao just kind of letting them pass by for now. Well, it's hard for him to see with the smoke.
It's really interesting because we saw Force leave their position, move around the entirety of what's going on, trying to make their way back down towards the south around where Lobes is at. So Katao finally gets spotted out, and that's going to be Nerf that gets the kill onto that. But Yak's now being forced back down there, as well as Kale. They're going to end up bumping into potentially Cloud9 or Empty, depending on the angle for it.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult here for Cloud9 as well. They've got 2 members up still. Most of the teams have taken some damage here. Incognito still in it with all 4 members, though, so we talked about them early on, that they needed a big round here, and right now they're in a good position with Chempty. Oh, my goodness.
That's the point of, okay, I just need to play this as defensive as possible. I'm playing for positioning, but I think that Nerf knows where he's at, and this is the downside of whenever you hang out inside of those trash cans. But see, he's already next leveled it. He's already left. Takes a lot of damage off of that grenade, though, so going to go for a reposition onto it. With BB and the way that BB's playing, they're playing so defensive inside that warehouse, they're not even going to see where Liquid is at. They could, if they were playing any of those doors, they would at least take a shot and it'd be easy to polish them off, but they're still up on that second story, I think finally being forced down by the circle. So Incognito in rotation off to one side. Ranger's going to have to cross right over next to him, and yeah, Jimty just trying to maybe hit a grenade off of it. Loeb's nowhere around it. He's just gone.
Yeah, Jemty trying to buy himself a little bit of time there, I think, as well. And yeah, C9, I think, wisely backing off here. OP Rangers with 3 members still up. They're going to have to make their way into the circle. Temeria, he's trying to find an angle there. They might opt to get into that Murado to try to push into this circle. There's a lot of empty room in this parking lot, and this warehouse that's right in front of C9 is very exposed itself. So this is going to be a pretty hectic last couple circles, I believe.
Circle finally forced BB out of position that they were hiding at and managed to spot out the remaining member of Liquid. So Liquid is now out. We're down to 5 teams, 14 alive. New circles popped up right in the middle of where we're looking at right now. You can see the Cloud9's off on one side. Incognito still has the numbers, but it's BB that's slowly making their crossover, trying to get towards the center of this. OP Rangers has a rough run ahead of them, as well as Force. That's going to be a lot of damage, as it's going to be. Look at this. Blue is just ticking away and doing so much damage to everybody. Now we've got Yak just making the run up and forward, just trying to stay ahead of it. And it looks like Brazilian's just going to go ahead and take over the spot we saw a second ago.
That's Jemty's dumpster, Brazilian. You can't get in there. Here comes the grenade, though, from Cloud9. It does get in there, doing a decent amount of damage to Brazilian, but he returns fire, getting a lot of damage onto Lobes.
Lobes just kind of caught up in this, like, okay, how many times am I going to have to fight somebody inside of this dumpster? Going to be Inta's on a nice little push there, making their way up, getting some kills, but that's going to be also the Rangers getting eliminated. So Yak still playing right along the edge of it, but you can see hanging out right next to a crate is going to be Cloud9. They got themselves a present from heaven as we move into Circle 9. 7 seconds before everything starts to condense down towards the center. Incognito in firm control over the north. They've kind of pushed BB back down on this other angle. BB just playing right along some crate. But it's going to be Cloud9 off on a different angle. BB does get a nice shot on a Ronin, so it's going to take him down. YKick and Mukau's going for a peek on the other side of that. Going to connect with it. Lively's taken a lot of damage, but YKick and Mukau kind of playing in a dangerous spot, holding back multiple teams off of his position. He's got the scopes for it. Yak gets caught out by Nerf at this point, so now we've got Cloud9 free and capable of slowly making their way forward, but Cloud9 seems to be fine just listening in on this firefight, letting these two teams really damage each other.
Yeah, I think this is really wise by Cloud9. It's a little bit difficult for them to get into this circle. I mean, they can go through the warehouse, but like I said, it's a bit exposed, especially from that northern front, because the front of this warehouse is just completely open. There aren't really any walls. All you got is some boxes and barrels in there, and Incognito is completely aware of this, but Lively landing a couple shots here. BB having their absolute best round of the tournament so far. 8 kills for them. They're already into 3rd place. This is a really exciting moment for Incognito and BB. They both have a good shot to win this.
Here you go. You see the circle condensing down, forcing everybody towards the middle. YKick Mukau goes down from Sato. Nice shots coming out from him. We can see BB slowly, steadily starting to take more and more control over the center. Lobes and Cloud9 trying to make a push on the other side of it. BB's caught in between both of these squads. Grenade's going to roll out. Does connect with Brazilian. Going to take him down. So with this, going to try to go for a follow-up onto it. The blue is slowly starting to force Cloud9 to reposition more and more back over towards the east. BB is just playing along inside the warehouse, and you can see it is just hell in there. There's fire, grenades, smoke everywhere. There's near on no vision as Incognito is just playing around the outside of it. Finally finally we do see Incognito get line of sight back over towards Nerf, prepping up the grenade. Is it going to connect onto it? No, it actually might bounce around right up in front of him, and no, goes through a gap and does manage to take him down. So now it's Lobes right up next to BB as Incognito slowly pushing their way forwards, playing around the smokes, trying to use it to stranglehold, get more and more control, force BB to funnel through different points, and you can see that was Cloud9 going for the grenade, but gets caught on the push out of it, and that's BB taking the shots back on one angle. It's going to be Insight getting spotted out as well, and look at that. That is going to be the Blue Bees walking away with 11 kills.
One team from Japan, they come through and get themselves an 11-kill win. I love it. Yatta, Blue Bees.
Great performance from all the teams right there towards the end. We got Incognito coming in second place as well. Great job to this squad. Cloud9 following it up in third place. CJ Intas Forest coming up in fourth, and OP Rangers in fifth. Hey, you got a little bit of a smile on your face there.
Yeah, my Asia teams, they're showing up. This was a lot of fun. I'm so excited for BB. I mean, to think this is probably one of the teams coming in here that nobody really thought could. I think if you asked if what the odds would be that the Japanese team would take even one win, I think you probably wouldn't get very good odds. And they came in here and they proved something today. They have been getting better and better as this tournament has gone on.
Legally walking away with 7 kills. Absolutely great performance coming out of them. But you know who my MVP of that match was? Who? The dumpster. The dumpster was the MVP. Everybody just kept bouncing around that dumpster. It was this focal point for so many fights.
That's fun to see. I love it when those players come up with creative ways to utilize the objects on the map, and those dumpsters are always fun. You always get a guy who's just prone in it, just trying to pray that nobody looks inside of it.
It's just, please leave me alone. I just want everyone else to go other directions. But BB, they held a nice position. They really kept out a lot of different teams. Incognito as well. They kind of joined forces there for a little while. It was like Wonder Twin Powers activate, and they just kept taking down anybody up towards the north that tried to approach on them, and just kept taking pot shots back and forth, but never really got the best chance to get sight lines onto each other, so kind of defended each other from different angles.
Yeah, this was great work here by BB. I mean, they went up against Team Liquid, and they were able to best them. That was a bruised up Team Liquid, but they did a good job holding their positions, catching Samty off guard inside of that building, moving into the warehouse, utilizing their cover very, very well, landing a couple nice grenades along the way. This was just a really fun performance, a really fun thing to see.
I mean, and that's the way, whenever you get Miramar games, you just want them to be a little bit chaotic like that. You know, you want them to be a little bit more fun, because naturally we're going to be making our way over towards Erangel. We'll be passing everything over to Pansy and Sims in just a second, but there's only 3 more rounds until we find out who goes into the finals automatically. Remember, the top 8 teams across all the different groups automatically make it over into the finals. Then the bottom 16 teams have to play it out in an elimination match that's going to be starting tomorrow. That's actually whenever we're going to start also inviting people over to come watch this live.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll have some live audience here. You can come on down to the XL Arena in London. I cannot wait to have a crowd here. We've got 3 more days of this event after 3 more matches of Erangel today, so it's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait for these crowds to really cheer on these teams.
Also, I love that trophy, man. That is a cool looking trophy. Like, normally they're all kinds of always the shiny, super bright silver, but this one's got this dark hue to it that just it's like a menacing trophy. If you hit somebody with that, they would die.
It looks like a trophy I grabbed out of the pits of Mordor, man. I went over there and I'm I got this trophy now.
Got to be very careful about who wins that and how they're going to be swinging around towards the end of it, as naturally you can see everybody playing for $150,000. Back behind that, second place coming in with $65,000. Decent chunk of change if you remember that everybody that plays inside of this also had to do great inside of their region, so they got paid before they even got here just doing great performances in that.
Yeah, exactly. A $400,000 prize pool for this tournament. Top 12 teams will make some kind of money. So, you know, if you go to the regulation, if you go to the elimination stage tomorrow, you know, you still have a good chance. You just need a big day, and you can actually, you know, even if you're one of the bottom teams, you can propel yourself forward, get yourself into the final 2 days, and try to make some extra cash.
Dude, I just absolutely love the format of this. So, this is the way the PUBG series should work, in my opinion, from this point forward, where you have the 3 different groups, you have an automatic chance to make it into the finals, then everybody else has to play it out. There's no excuses in a format like this. If you don't make it in, it's just because the fact that you just weren't good enough to cut it to make it in.
Yeah, absolutely. But and there's so many games. It's over the course of many days. This is what you need for competitive PUBG. You need to give these teams the room to breathe. And I'm just 100% with you. I love it. This is perfect.
All right, and so with this, we're trying to get everything set and ready. I believe that we have Freya down with an interview.
Thank you so much, guys. Yes, I am down here with the winning team, Bluebees and Lee Avelli. So you guys looked phenomenal in that final showing. You must be so happy with your performance.
さっきの試合はとっても素晴らしかったです。素晴らしかったです。本当に嬉しく思われているでしょうか。
はい、とても嬉しいです。
Yes, we are very happy indeed.
Because you guys placed 12th in both your last games. What changed coming into this game?
以前は12位のランクでございましたが、今回はどうこの試合が違われたのですか？
そうですね。特に違った点とかはなかったと思うんですけど、ムーブにみんな声かけ合って落ち着いていいプレーができたのかなっていうふうに思います。
Okay, so in terms of movement, I don't think there was much difference, but this time round we communicated very well with the team together and we kept calm and we kept playing.
Was there a particular player that kind of kept you calm in that situation?
この試合で冷静さを保てた要因のプレイヤーとかはございますか？
プレイヤーですか？
はい。
僕です。
I think that'll be me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very good. We're talking to the man himself. And I just want to pick up Incognito. They were the last team that you were facing in that final fight. They're also kind of the underdog team as well. How did you approach that situation?
そうですね。インコグニトというチームでございますね。やっぱりいわゆる下克上のチームでございますが、インコグニトと対立された時はどう対応されましたか？
特にチーム名とかは見てなくて、もう目の前の敵をもう全部倒していこうっていう感じでしたね。
So actually, we weren't looking at the team names of our enemies, but whichever enemy we faced, we were going to battle them down.
Well, that is the perfect way to end that game and end our Miramar games as well. Let's head back to James at the desk.
That's right, Bluebees Datakai as they keep fighting here, and we do see them getting 21 points from our previous game, with 11 points of that coming in from the kills. Boys, taking a look here at the last match, seeing the results in front of you right now, what do you take away from it? Bluebees, fantastic performance.
I'm very sad they didn't get one more kill, because that would mean they would have doubled their points going into this. It's going to really propel them forward. That's really going to put them into a position where they're going to be happy going into the sudden death stage, because you don't want to be on the bottom half going into the sudden death, because it's going to be so hard to really leapfrog ahead of 8 teams.
Yeah, I mean, this might really free the Bluebees to play the way that they want to. I think they've been feeling passive, maybe restrained a lot, and to let them sort of break out and play aggressively and sort of without that mental toll of, man, we're playing catch up, we're not doing well, people are judging us, is going to be a really big deal for them, I think. In a lot of the comebacks we saw, Tempo and a lot of others, it starts with that first sort of victory. So I'm looking forward to a big day for Bluebees as we move over to Erangel.
It almost ended up as a big day or a big moment here for Incognito as well, who we haven't really seen kind of in the upper echelons of these placements so far. There was almost a moment where you guys were very, very hyped to see them win out things. And getting them a second place, though, very respectable in its regard anyway.
And with 5 kills as well on top of that. It's going to give them 11 points. Again, it's going to put them into a better position going into the sudden death stage, because so far, unless they have an amazing 3 games on Erangel, they are going to be in the sudden death stage.
I mean, let's give both of these teams some hype, right? These are 2 teams that literally at the start of the day, in the pre-show, I said, man, we need to see a big games out of Incognito and Bluebees. And they come out in the same game, put in tons of work, and honestly, great placement. We thought that circle might go there. Those 2 teams predicted it and executed it very well.
All the top 5 teams, in fact, actually from this last game, really needed the points. When you look at Bluebees, Incognito, Cloud9, Entus Force, as well as OP Gaming Rangers coming into the final moments here of group stage Avenger. Anything else you took away from this?
Again, very happy that Rangers also there, but shoot to kill, putting up some kills there, putting some pressure on the teams outside the circle, prioritizing those kills is what I'm really happy to see. That's what you need to do going forward as well.
Yeah, I mean, STK got 8 kills on that match despite 9th place. And on top of that, they took out Ninjas in Pajamas. NIP is none of their leading vices here. They want to make a statement against them, and they did it. They fought them by Picado, and then they chased them when they tried to leave and finished the job. But finishing the job is what we're going to see right here from the Bluebees. They locked up a good position. They held off Incognito, and they had to do it early on, and they got to stay there.
And for Bluebees, it was no small feat, this win in itself. they managed to take out the reigning world champions on their way through to victory there, with OMG being taken out by Bluebies.
I was very surprised to see OMG kind of in a defensive position, because their players were definitely capable of putting in up a fight there, but they were playing extremely defensive, and Bluebies managed to take that fight down.
I do think a big victory moment is here. Incognito kind of won it for them by taking out C9 and then had to fold, unfortunately, for them.
All of this brought to you by the gorgeous NVIDIA. GeForce RTX, get it at home. It's a revelation. I'm on the 2070 at home. I love it so much. Anyway, regardless, let's get back to business, of course, here. So a lot of points accrued by teams that really needed to try and bump themselves up. However, the mission is by no means complete just yet, because we've got 3 of Erangel, and all of those teams still need to continue stepping it up going into Erangel.
So you brought up points gained by teams that need them. Let's talk about OP Rangers for a second, because I think that they lived up to their strategy and sort of the way that they play here. And OP Rangers in Korea is known for sort of having a Western style. They like to get 4 to the end, and then they stand up and fight. The problem they've had here at this tournament, I believe, is in the Korean meta, it's so aggressive early on. When they make it to that top 5, a lot of the other teams are limping in with 3 people, bad vests, loss of utility, things like that. So they're comfortable cleaning up against underwhelming opponents at that stage, if that makes sense. What happened here is the same thing, but they only got 2 kills, because I think at this level, even teams like C9, when they're limping in, are an insane threat.
They will, with 2 guys that will easily take on a fight, and especially they might even be in a good spot to kind of come into the circle. But here, they were on the eastern side, they kind of have 3 guys alive, but they ended up not prioritizing the circle at the right time. That ended up costing them a lot, and there were already teams moving into kind of offhand position, which put them into a spot where they couldn't get to the circle because they didn't do it early enough, and all the other teams just focused them because they were the only ones moving.
And without further ado, the mystery X factor of the match here, brought to you by HyperX. I was ominously led into this one. I'm not sure what we're going to get, as we are... Oh, wait a minute. I saw a forbearing of what's to come. What are we going to get, boys? It's going to be Zampa.
It's going to be a Kobe.
Oh, it's... Oh! You mean Tree?
No, seriously, though, that was a great throw. I think Luster, who were they throwing at?
It was a really good throw.
Yeah.
It was a great throw.
Branches in nature exist.
Literally,
apparently.
that's the story of my Frisbee golf life right there.
And imagine it hit the branch and then it went straight back or onto one of his teammates and knock him instead. That would have been really bad.
We've seen it.
It happened multiple times.
Yeah, that would have been a mystery X Factor fail of the match, I think.
Nades are OP right now, but trees are king.
Trees are pretty strong. Imagine that. Actually, any foliage is pretty strong when it comes to Miramar. I remember playing Miramar the first time, driving around in my little thing. There's a small little cactus there. I was like, yeah, there's no problem. Smash explosion. What? What's going on?
I like that he still pretends he did it on purpose, hitting the cactus.
Anyway, beyond that, of course, thinking about how the leaders, as well as all the kind of movers and makers, are trying to move into the next 3 games, of course, I want to go to where we are in 10th through 12th place especially. Tempo Storm, VSG, Cloud9. Tempo Storm is 1 point away from breaching into the top 8, or at least drawing into the top 8. VSG is 9 points away, and Cloud9 is 11 points away. Very, very close right now.
And I think this outlines where we sort of talked about the theoretical advantage of playing on the last day, right? Tempo has not had the best day today, and the last game I think is staple of that, but they don't have to overstress about it. They can stay in their lane, they can play their game, and they know, at worst case scenario, we pick up, 8 more points today and we still advance. So there is sort of that benefit mentally of playing on the last day that you feel a little more forgiveness if you're in that middle bracket.
What I'm also very curious about is we have Envy and 17 Gaming here on 8th and 7th. If both of them are taking over and Cloud9 is still not going to take them over, that means that 17 and Cloud9 are going to be fighting in pochenki in the sudden death stage, and that's what you don't want to do, as that's going to be the last 3 games trying to kind of survive and get into the grand finals.
Yeah, well, I have a really good point there.
Will 17 be fighting in pochenki?
Well, you think so, maybe.
They were there for quite a while.
That's true. With pistols, they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there were those moments, I suppose.
I mean, they got 2 pistol kills on Liquid. That's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
They might definitely commit to it because, first of all, it's making a point, and second of all, I mean, I guess they could change it up. We've seen many teams on the on the kind of on the southern road between the two bridges as well. There's room for more teams, so you just send them down there. It's not like there's already
the South Road.
It's not like there's already 4 teams there, like kind of secondary looting there.
I don't need any more teams down there. Thank you very much. That is a cram-packed location for sure. Let's check in with the schedule as well. As we have 3 games down, we're going to have 3 more to go as well. And you see Aerowolf 1, Liquid, and Blue Bees have managed to get themselves the 3 wins on Miramar. Liquid especially there after the second place in that first game, really very well being able to perform on their home map, really.
I mean, I do want to give another big shout out to Bluebees though, because no matter how the rest of the tournament goes, I don't think you heard the interview early on in this thing. They didn't expect a lot from themselves. They talked about how small a region it is. Having their logo there as a match winner today, no matter what happens here, that's going to be a source of pride for them.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to give a lot of encouragement to these guys as they go back to their region, and I think garner a lot of respect for the region as well.
I'm happy that they're able to pick up a win here in the group stage because, first of all, it's going to put them in a position to be more comfortable going to the southern stage because they will need to pull off some amazing games in these last 3 games if they were going to go straight to the final.
And that does it for us here now at the desk. We're going to head down to Frankie now, who is with a team that traveled literally 12 million miles to be here. It's Incognito.
They have indeed, Colaris, and they're desperate to go to lunch, but I managed to get them to hold on. So to be honest, these boys, they're working hard today, and I'm holding them back a little bit. But Ronan, thank you so much for letting me hold you back from lunch for a bit longer, because I really wanted to talk to you because you've come from so far away. And in Australia, you guys absolutely dominated in the Oceanic qualifier.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely dominated.
I mean, I didn't even ask a question there, to be fair, Ronan. I was just like, tell me about yourself. So how are you adjusting then to the international stage? Because it's not quite gone as well here for you.
Oh, it's insane. The players here are insane. They're just sharp. Everyone's sharp. We aren't playing our game, but we can bring it back. We always have been able to bring it back.
What is your game then? When are we going to see it?
Now, starting from now, after lunch. I got a big lunch in me and I'll be good to go.
So it's all about having a bit of good old-fashioned London grub, and then that's going to power you forward on Erangel. But in terms of that last match, you managed to actually get second. That's, I think, yesterday, or sorry, not yesterday, on day 1, you got 1 placement point. You came 8th. That was your highest placement. So to get to number 2, right now feels bad, man, I know. To get to number 2 now, that's incredible. So how did you manage to keep everything on track to get that point?
We got fed. We loot there. That's it.
So it's really just about you being in a spot that you're comfortable in?
Pretty much. We should have won.
And Ronan, I know that you're watching PGI Berlin from your native Australia. So what does it mean to be here in London on the international stage?
It's actually pretty surreal. Like, when you think about it, I'm playing video games overseas against the best players in the world. So all I can do is enjoy my time while I'm over here and have as much fun as I can. I'm having a lot of fun.
Does it feel quite different, given that the ping in Australia is quite bad, to be playing here?
Well, we do have custom servers, but like it's so hard to just actually play the game on a casual level. No one wants to play on 200 ping in Southeast Asia.
Now, thank you so much for talking to me, Ronan. I'm going to actually talk to your teammate, Juicy, here. He's actually one of the players to watch from the analyst desk. Juicy, what's it going to take for you to frag out in the next game? Because I know that's where your happy place is, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So coming from OC, we're a pretty heavy fragging team, and coming here over to London, it's been a big difference. Really haven't had the opportunity, apart from that last game, to actually take fights, I feel like. But hopefully, come Erangel, these next 3 games, we can bring it together, get in a good position to take these fights, get some points, and hopefully we can make up that difference from yesterday.
Juicy, I'm quite impressed with your camera skills, so I'm going to put you to the test in a second. First, I'm going to ask you to model the Vertigo chair, our sponsor chair. It's very comfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been really good. So back in home in OC, I have just like a standard office chair, so to come here over to London and use this is it's a bit of a treat. Yeah.
I think he's better than me. I think I'm going to give him my job completely because we need to go to a lunch break. So actually, when we come back, we're going to have Freya, Scoom and Demon on the desk show. So do you want to throw it to a break, Juicy?
We'll be right back after this break.
Yes!